Welcome back to my channel. This is Enlightenment and Noverin. I'm going to try to go through a deep dive and explain the complicated history of the Shadow Man comics. I've got a few comments and people asking about where to buy them. That's not really a answer that I can really give. It's kind of weird. Basically, your local comic shop is number one, but if you don't have a local comic shop or you don't have a way to get there or whichever, then I would suggest the website mycomicshop.com or just buy them on Amazon. But we're going to deep dive here and see what we can get into. The very first comics came out in 1992. Jack Boniface is the original wearer of the Mask of Shadows as an actual mask. He is the dude, he's a saxophone player, he's just a regular guy during the day. He's not like a hitman or anything crazy. He gets messed up in some voodoo stuff with who you will find out will end up being Nettie. She's this creepy old lady. She's like his housekeeper at first for some reason. She can change form and change shape. She's 150 years old. She can look like a young woman, or if she doesn't want to use her powers, or if she's exhausted her powers, or whichever, then she just looks like a creepy old lady. So that's the difference going on here versus the video game. A lot of these comics, I'm going to compare them to the game because most people know the original 1998 Shadow Man game for the Nintendo 64, the Dreamcast, the PS1, and the PC. And then it just got remastered again for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox Series consoles. So, comparing it to that, the Nettie that you see in that show is not this one. Unless it's another body form of it. The video game is mostly based off of the 1997 Mike LeRoi comics, which is the guy that you're playing in the game. Mike LeRoi has nothing to do with Jack Boniface, really, although Nettie knows both of these people. They're two separate people. Mike LeRoi is he's a taxi cab driver and an English literature dropout, and he has his little brother Luke, which he accidentally winds up getting killed because of this. That's why you're trying to find him in the game. Luke's kind of sort of in the 1997 comics. Nettie is also in them, but Nettie's a creepy old woman. She does not look like she does in the game. She, without spoiling it, basically she takes on the body of another person, and then she becomes the young Nettie that we know from the game. The 1997 comic, the first 4 issues of it are the only 4 that are based on the game. If you Google around and try to find pictures of the actual pages from within it, the drawings and the art style are going to be all over the place because the first 4 issues are a different artist than the rest of the issues. It jumps around storytellers and comic artists, which is kind of weird and it kind of loses the feel. So it goes from like a creepy horror story to kind of a more action badass kick butt story. And it doesn't even really have an ending. It doesn't really make sense. If you want to comment on that, you can. I know the ending. I'm just not trying to spoil it for the average viewer on this. So, if you're a fan of the game, I would definitely recommend reading these 1997 comics and just start off with those, and that's where you need to start. We went a really long time without any new Shadow Man news, really. There was a Shadow Man Second Coming video game came out in 2002. It was only released for the PlayStation 2. A lot of people hate this game that are fans of the original because it's more action-based and it's not as good story-wise, in my opinion and in everybody else's opinion. Instead of fighting Legion or having most of the game set in the asylum, you're fighting to basically get your way through all these demons like Asmodeus, and they have a bunch of names like Baba Yaga, the Russian demon goddess creature, and there's a couple other ones. They're kind of Nettie talks to you about them. It's kind of weird. Nettie's not this mysterious person that she was originally. Honestly, she kind of sucks. She's this sexy bikini version, and I don't like it. Nobody really likes her either. Jaunty's the same. At least him and Shadowman are voiced by the same people, which is cool. Jaunty, you get to see him as the little Irish man that he originally was, which is also, if he ties into the 1997 comic, because he's a snake in that comic, but also he's a little Irish man, because that's how Mike sees him. Once again, without getting into spoilers and why is he a snake or whichever. Basically got into some wrong voodoo or whatever, and Nettie tried to save him. So that's what ties the 1997 to the 2002 video game. Giant gap of nothing happens other than all of us online wondering, was there going to be a remake? Are they going to make it another game? Are they going to do whatever? We've had people do retextures of the PC version of the game and mods and stuff, but nothing really groundbreaking. So in 2012, there was a Reboot comic series. This is still by Valiant Comics. This is Jack Boniface again. So the 2012 Jack Boniface is a different guy. He doesn't look anything like the 1992 Jack Boniface, so I don't really know what's going on there. I own a few of these comics as well. Not enough to make a cohesive story. I do know that recurring character Master Dark is in these, and his sister is in them as well, but other than that, I can't really go into detail without spoiling for even myself since I haven't read them all. Even more confusing, I was buying these in the wrong order because I thought the 2012 Jack Boniface Shadowman comics were the same thing as the Shadowman End Times. End Times is only like 3 issues. There's like 20, 23 pages per issue, so they're the fat comics. I think that is the true ending of the 2012 storyline of Jack Boniface, but I'm unsure. The End Time comics came out in 2014. Then there was, I don't know if these are considered reboots or if they're all continuations on the Jack Boniface story of the 2012 reboot. So there is another line of comics in 2018. He looks a little bit different. I think he might still be a saxophone player, just like the 1992 one, but unconfirmed on that. I haven't seen these anywhere in the wild. I knew the day they were released. I went out looking for them. I couldn't find them anywhere. I guess the answer to that would just be buy them on Amazon or buy them on mycomicshop.com. But it's whatever on that. Let me know if they're worth reading. I definitely want to get into these. And now, in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of the terrible, like, woke Marvel comics that the internet's freaking out about, there's all these other cool comics underground that nobody's really bringing up. This one looks like it has potential. I don't know if it does. 2021 reboot of Jack Boniface. Looks like a completely different guy. He still has the staff and everything. All of the Jack Boniface all have something in common. They all have the Mask of Shadows on their face, and they're all succumbed by voodoo from either Master Dark or some other characters I haven't met yet, or a Nettie type figure. Most of them seem to have a girlfriend figure, which is not usually the same girl, depending on which series we're talking about here. But the 2021 series, I haven't been able to find that either. I think it's finished. They're definitely on mycomicshop.com. And if you go to Valiant's main website, it'll just tell you all of the things I mentioned, all these comics. It'll show you where to buy them at your local comic shops in your area based on your zip code or whichever. So I guess that's another way to find them, or just call and ask if they have them and have them hold them for you. So this is my crazy rambling on of what's going on with these characters. I don't really know if this is super useful information, but I definitely want to get into the Shadowman End Times, and the 2014 ones and the 2021 ones. So let me know what you think. Comments are highly encouraged. If you have any other input on this, I would like to know, because there's not much info on this on the internet as a whole. I'll see you guys later. Bye.